Hopefully I'll just take a couple of minutes for this last portion of part 1's lectures on this. But we've been talking about the aminotransferase reactions using PLP. We talked about the fact that there are like methyltransferases that uses tetrahydrofolate or adomet /SAM/S-adenosylmethionine. Because remember, S-adenosylmethionine has two nicknames: SAM, let's say all in capital letters, and then adomet, where they capitalize the A and the M. To me, once again, it always sounds like something from Star Wars. And then we have the nitrogen, the amino transfer groups, okay? But this time it was from the amide portion of glutamine and not the backbone. And so we're going to look at that one in greater detail. So we already shown this PowerPoint. Now let's talk about, because remember the problem, one of the problems with moving this nitrogen around is you don't want it to be free ammonia, because ammonia is bad. That's why our body has to get rid of that nitrogen. So we have a way to get around that. It's where you never have to worry about ammonia leaving during the process. So these are amidotransferases, which is kind of a misnomer because it's transferring in nitrogen, but it's transferring it from an amide group. So we'll show you in a small bit. It looks like they all have at least two structural domains in common. One of them binds to glutamine, which is the initial donor for the nitrogen that's going to be moving. And then the other one's going to bind whatever's going to be accepting it. But what's really cool about this is that nitrogen never leaves. Because once again, remember, the problem was nitrogen, not only is it bad for the pH because it's a base, because remember, what was another big problem with ammonia, especially for your brain? Remember that was from...
Those free electrons?
And it's not free electrons, but what happens, it's one of the reasons why you had to get rid of ammonia in that chapter. Not only is it just for the pH, but if you have too much nitrogen and ammonia around, what happens to a cell in general? And the problem is, especially with your brain, is a major problem. What happens if it stays? What? Yeah, water is going to flow in because it's osmosis, and you're going to have swelling, you have edema. Okay, and of course your brain is stuck in the skull, so therefore you can become comatose and eventually die from it. Okay, so that's why we don't want the nitrogen out to do damage. And this is used as a cysteine. Okay? And they believe that that's the nucleophile. So there's just the last, I can tell you, this is really, really simple, but it's also really cool in the fact that it's the way that we don't have to worry about the nitrogen leaving. So let me just show that. So here's what it looks like. It's a little cartoony, but still the same. Notice it can actually take multiple types of substrates other than glutamine. Glutamine is always going to be one substrate. Then that other side is whatever's going to be taking it. Okay, and it can be either some type of ketone, aldehyde, or even an activated alcohol. Okay, that's why that button is shown that way. Okay, so for the first, like I said, this is actually really simple. You have the glutamine, and if you remember back from organic chemistry, that carbon of the carbonyl is just, it's a great electrophile. It gets attacked easily. You'd form a tetrahedral intermediate. They're not even showing you that. And you get collapsed. So we have the nucleophile, boom. You'd form the tetrahedral intermediate. You collapse the tetrahedral intermediate, and ammonia leaves. Okay, so it's really simple. We've seen that kind of thing in organic chemistry last year. The problem is if this was a regular enzyme, that ammonia would have left and, you could die. Bad things would happen. Okay, but what happens is they have the other domain, the other substrate domain, adjacent to it. And so there's this little channel. So the ammonia can't leave the enzyme. It just gets shuttled over. Okay, and in the process, you have the other substrate that comes in. It can be, like I said, it can be an alcohol, or it can be some type of, like an aldehyde or something like that. So something has an acyl group on it. And if it's an alcohol, many times it's phosphorylated first, just because phosphate's an amazing leaving group. But that's it. And so the nitrogen is the nucleophile, and so this leaves is a glutamate, right? Because all it has to happen is water comes in and smacks that carbon. You have a glutamate. And depending upon what you started off with, you're either going to end up with an amine or an imine. Okay, because if we start off with just a carbon to a single oxygen bond, it's going to be an amine. If it's a carbon to a double bond to an oxygen, it's going to be some type of imine, which our body can also utilize for various things. So this is one way that we have to move nitrogens without using an aminotransferase, is using an amidotransferase. But that's why I say it's a little bit of a misnomer, because it's not the amide that's transferring, it's a nitrogen from the amide. Okay, are there any questions on this? Like I said, we only had like 2 slides from the part 1. So you can look over that. And this is really cool, the fact that, once again, the ammonia never leaves. Ooh.